Thought I was meeting my husband's boss for business. Instead, he looked me in the eye and said, "I have a confession." He slid a flash drive across the table, and when I opened the files, my blood ran cold. Videos of my husband sneaking around. I smiled, closed my laptop, and said, "Hope you're ready to post a job opening. He'll be job hunting soon." I never thought a simple business meeting would change my life forever. It was a humid Tuesday afternoon in New York City, and I was scheduled to meet my husband's boss, Mr. Reyes, at a quaint cafe in Manhattan. The purpose was to discuss a charity event my husband, Miguel, was organizing through his company. As I arrived, Mr. Reyes greeted me with a somber expression. He slid a flash drive across the table and said, "I have a confession." Confused, I took the flash drive and inserted it into my laptop. What I saw made my blood run cold. Videos and photos of Miguel with another woman, timestamps indicating these were recent. I closed the laptop, looked Mr. Reyes in the eye, and said, "Hope you're ready to post a job opening. He'll be job hunting soon." Returning home, I confronted Miguel. He tried to deny it at first, but the evidence was irrefutable. He broke down, confessing to the affair and begging for forgiveness. I felt a whirlwind of emotions, anger, betrayal, sadness. But amidst it all, a sense of clarity emerged. I realized I deserved better. I packed my bags and left, seeking solace with my sister in Brooklyn. The days that followed were challenging, but I found strength in the support of my family and friends. Months passed, and I began to rebuild my life. I enrolled in a culinary course, something I'd always wanted to do. Cooking became therapeutic, allowing me to channel my emotions into creating something beautiful. I also started volunteering at a local shelter, finding purpose in helping others. Through these experiences, I rediscovered myself and realized that my worth wasn't defined by someone's betrayal. Looking back, that meeting with Mr. Reyes was a turning point. It was the catalyst that led me to a path of self-discovery and empowerment. While the betrayal was painful, it taught me resilience and the importance of self-love. I didn't hear from Miguel for 2 weeks after I walked out. Then, just like that, he was outside my sister's brownstone in Brooklyn one evening. Sweating through his button-down, holding some sad excuse for flowers, and begging to talk. I didn't want to, but my sister, always the peacemaker, whispered, "Just hear him out." Closure. So I did. We sat in her backyard. He talked, said he made a mistake, said she meant nothing, said he was under stress, said it was just once. I didn't say a word until he was done. Then I asked him about the other woman's name. He froze. I asked again, louder. "Who is she?" He said it. Quiet. Guilty. Darla. The name didn't mean anything at first. I didn't recognize it. But then it hit me like a punch to the chest. Darla was the intern. 24. Just finished her degree. I'd met her. I'd talked to her. I'd given her advice about applying to grad school. And now she was the reason my marriage was blown to pieces? I stood up and told him to leave. He didn't fight me on it. But that wasn't the end of it. Not even close. A few days later, Mr. Reyes called again. Said he needed to see me. Urgently. I met him in the same cafe. This time, he wasn't calm. He looked shaken. He slid over a manila folder. Inside were screenshots, texts, photos, emails. Miguel hadn't just cheated. He'd been using company money to take Darla on trips. Miami, Denver, even a weekend in Vegas. All on the company card. Booking under fake names. It was fraud. Serious fraud. Mr. Reyes said the board had been tipped off. Someone sent the evidence anonymously. HR was launching an investigation. But that's not what made my hands start shaking. It was the last photo. Darla, smiling in a hotel room, wearing my robe. I stared at that photo so long, Mr. Reyes had to speak twice to get my attention. I didn't want to believe it. He's not just risking his marriage. He's risking this entire company. I barely heard him. My mind was racing. Miguel used my things. Took her to places he once promised me. Lied to everyone. And now he might bring his whole company down with him. I asked, "Why are you telling me all this?" Mr. Reyes looked at me carefully. "Because we think you might be the one who sent the evidence." I blinked. I didn't. He nodded slowly. "Then someone's trying to destroy him. And if it's not you, it's someone close." That night, I couldn't sleep. I went through every conversation I had over the past few weeks. Friends, family, coworkers. The only person I told everything to was my sister. So the next morning, I asked her, straight up, "Did you send anything to Miguel's job?" She looked up from her coffee. Then slowly she said, "Yes." I just stared at her. "I couldn't take it," she said. "What he did to you, it made me sick. I saw you crying every night. I had the videos on my phone from when you showed me. So I sent them. I didn't think twice." I should have been angry. But instead, I just sat down next to her and cried, not because of what she did, but because I realized she was the only one protecting me through all this. A week later, Miguel called. I didn't answer. Then he texted, "I'm being suspended. They're opening a criminal case." He followed it with, "You did this." I didn't reply. I showed the text to my sister, and she just said, "He's finally facing consequences." But deep down, I knew this wasn't over. People like Miguel don't just fade away. They drag others down with them. And something told me he wasn't done dragging. I didn't hear from Miguel for a couple of weeks after that angry text. Then one day, I got a letter. Not an email, not a message. A physical envelope with my name written in his handwriting. I opened it, expecting another apology, maybe some desperate plea for sympathy. Instead, it was a legal notice. He was suing me for defamation. He claimed that I knowingly submitted fabricated materials to his employer with the intent to destroy his career. My hands were shaking as I read it. I had nothing to do with the leak, and he knew that. But now he was trying to turn me into the villain. My sister was furious. She called a friend of hers, a lawyer, who took one look at the documents and said, "This is a scare tactic. He's bluffing. Don't panic." But I was panicking. Because Miguel was unpredictable, reckless, and worse, he was desperate. 2 days later, my car was broken into. Nothing was stolen. Just rifled through. Glove box open, papers scattered. My laptop bag was untouched. Jewelry I'd left in the center console was still there. It wasn't a robbery. It was a message. My lawyer told me to report it, so I did. Filed a police report. Mentioned the lawsuit. They took it seriously, but said unless I had proof, it would be hard to trace it back to Miguel. Still, something had shifted. This wasn't just a broken marriage anymore. It was war. One night, around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. It was a blocked number. Against better judgment, I answered. Silence. Then a woman's voice. "You think he only lied to you?" It was Darla. She didn't say her name, but I recognized her voice immediately. "Hi, soft young." She sounded exhausted. She told me she had something to show me. Said Miguel had promised her things. Said he told her he was leaving me months before he actually did. That he gave her my jewelry, pieces he swore he had bought just for her. She said she found old texts. One of them was about me. He called me deadweight. Then she said something that made my skin crawl. He told me, if I ever talked to you, he'd ruin both of us. I asked her, "So why are you calling?" She whispered, "Because I think I might be pregnant." After that call, I couldn't sleep for days. I kept going over every word in my head, every lie he told, every warning sign I ignored. I wasn't angry at Darla anymore. I pitied her. She was just another piece on his board. I tried calling her back the next day. No answer. I texted nothing. It was like she disappeared. 2 weeks passed. Then Mr. Reyes called again. Said Miguel had officially been terminated. The board found financial misconduct, abuse of resources, and violations of HR policy. He was blacklisted from the industry. And then he added one more thing. He's threatening to sue the company now. He claims someone forged documents to get him fired. I asked if they believed him. No, Reyes said. But there's a bigger problem. What? We just got a call from a woman claiming she has more videos. Of Miguel. Of others. My heart dropped. Others? He was quiet. Then. She said some of the files involve people underage. I sat in silence, mouth dry, heart pounding. That's not just firing material, Reyes continued. That's prison. Now everything felt different. Miguel wasn't just a cheating husband. He might have been something far, far worse. And I realized, sitting alone in my sister's apartment with my phone buzzing from lawyers and detectives, I was just at the edge of something even darker. And I had no idea how far it would go. A week after Mr. Reyes told me about the new files, I got a call from a detective. She asked if I could come down to the precinct. Said it wouldn't take long. I knew what it was about. The others in the videos. The ones possibly underage. The things I didn't want to believe, but couldn't ignore. When I arrived, she handed me a printed screenshot from one of the videos. Blurred faces. But one name stood out. Darla, the girl who'd called me. Who said she might be pregnant. Who disappeared. She came to us, the detective said. She gave us a full statement. She was 17 when it started. My heart sank. She had a fake ID. He told her he didn't care. Said he had friends who could make things disappear. She looked me dead in the eye. He's in deep trouble now. Federal. Not just workplace misconduct. I sat in silence. I couldn't speak. Couldn't process. My marriage wasn't just a lie. It was a gateway into something criminal. A week later, it all blew up. Not behind closed doors, but in the middle of Miguel's cousin's wedding. I hadn't planned to go, but my sister said I should. Face the family. Show them I wasn't hiding. I went. Wore a plain navy dress. Didn't drink. Stayed near the edge of the room. Miguel was there too. He looked thinner. Nervous. Kept checking his phone. Then, during dinner, it happened. Someone tapped the mic. Not the DJ. Not the MC. Darla. She was standing at the front of the room, trembling but determined. I'm sorry, she said, voice shaking. I know this isn't the place. But I can't keep quiet anymore. Everyone stared. Chairs creaked. Forks dropped. I was 17 when I met Miguel. He told me he loved me. Told me his wife didn't matter. Told me nobody would believe me. Gasps. Whispers. She looked at me. I'm sorry to you most of all. Miguel stood up, yelling, she's lying. But then Mr. Reyes stood too. She's not, he said. Loud. Clear. We've seen the evidence. Chaos. Family shouting. The bride crying. Someone tried to pull Darla off stage. Miguel lunged toward her, but two of his own cousins held him back. It was explosive. Ugly. Raw. But it was the truth. And it was out. I left before the police came. Before the officers walked Miguel out in cuffs, while guests filmed with shaky hands and posted it online. I didn't need to see that. I already felt enough. Anger. Shame. Disgust. A weird, hollow sadness for a life I thought I had. Back at my sister's, I just sat on her couch and stared at the floor. She brought me tea. Neither of us spoke. Over the next few months, I tried to piece together a new life. Therapy helped. So did cooking classes. I reconnected with old friends. I cut off people who asked, "Didn't you see the signs?" And I started journaling. Not for revenge. Not for pity. But because I needed to remind myself I wasn't stupid. I wasn't weak. I was just trusting. And sometimes that hurts you. Miguel's trial is still pending. Darla moved out of state. I don't know if she kept the baby. I hope she's safe. As for me, I'm still figuring things out. I'm not hopeful yet. Not desolate either. Just standing. And for now, that's enough.